Rob, good to be back.
Yeah, Jim, good to see you.
How's everything going over there?
Going pretty good. Going great. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well. We were just talking for those of you watching before we started this recording. We were talking about something called TOR or Transfer of Residency,
Hmm.
and it's kind of a dry topic, but from a layman's perspective, if you or I or friends of ours are going from the United States to anywhere, let's say the UK. And all of our household goods are there, our wardrobes, clothing, all of that. If you don't know what transfer of residency is and you're kind of going through it for the first time, then we're going to pay customs fees, duties, taxes on. It's almost going to be like we're buying our household goods again, right?
Well, yeah, to some degree. I mean, so for the UK, it we SDC, we're moving people all the time. Our number one destination is the UK. So folks are moving their household goods and their personal effects from somewhere in the United States, whether it be Boston, Chicago, LA, Seattle, Miami, Houston, doesn't matter, and they're moving to the UK. They want to bring their household goods, their furniture, their possessions, their clothes, all that kind of stuff, and they want to have their items get to their destination new place, which includes clearing customs without paying a duty, a tax, which, of course, that's what we want to do. And there is an exemption set up once per move to the UK from anywhere, provided certain requirements are met, like you have legitimate visa, you're returning citizen, dual citizen, that kind of thing. You've owned the goods for at least 6 months. You've been out of the UK for at least a year. But then a TOR2 form has to be completed, and we have to submit that when we're clearing customs for the client in order to avoid duties, right?
Yeah.
TOR, transfer of residency form. Yeah, so that's what that is.
Yeah, I now if you have like a whole bunch of stuff and you don't have that form in order, what could happen to somebody?
Well, we wouldn't let that happen on our end for our clients
Yeah.
because, if you show up with stuff, tangible stuff, at the port, and when you go to clear customs and there's no TOR, they're going to assume that you're importing goods for resale in the UK,
Yeah.
and you are going to be taxed fully. There's going to be a duty, it might be a VAT.
Yeah.
Um, don't want that. So yeah, once we don't assume anything. Once we are in the process, we say, okay, where's the TOR? Oh, you don't have it? Well, here it is. And we do that well before we initiate a pickup, because we
Yeah.
understand how this works. We're going to say, way before the pickup, by the way, here's the TOR if you don't already have it. This has got to be completed. Um, and basically, a TOR, it's just a document that lists your inventory, what you're bringing, what's going to be passing through customs at the port of entry, whether it's London or Southampton or Felixstowe. Um, and so essentially, it's a detailed inventory list. When I say detailed, I mean for furniture, there is a sofa, a
Yeah.
brown leather sofa, a gray oak 8-foot dining room table, that kind of level of detail on the TOR, and there's instructions on the form, and country of origin.
Yeah.
Now, not country of manufacturer, country of origin. So for us, for exports, it's going to be the United States almost always. So, that brown leather sofa, country of origin, United States. Okay. Now, for boxes, three-dimensional moving boxes, there's no granularity requirement. It's box number one, kitchen items. Box number two is books. Box number three, shoes, whatever it is. Um, and again, country of origin, United States of America for people that we're exporting to the UK. So that's really all the TOR 2 is. And here at SDC, what we will do is, once we engage with the client, we're going to say, okay, we're going to give that to them right away, just
Yeah.
in case they have it. Because again, we want to make sure that, in fact, customs is cleared, duty free, no problems, and all of that.
It's funny because having learned about this entire topic, from people like yourself and people in SDC as my beginning point, not just going online and reading about it. I found online that a lot of people have basically been like their own international moving company. They just hired different people to do different things. And then I read stories about where they didn't realize about that the tour, they didn't fill out the tour properly
Mhm.
or they left things
Right.
off and they had to pay hundreds, in some cases thousands of dollars
Mhm.
that they didn't realize. Simply something that could have easily been avoided if they had just worked with somebody who knew this process, a company like an SDC. And then I read a story about a woman that they told her that she could retroactively submit the tour that and the things that were missing.
Mhm.
So she did, but she ended up paying storage fees on all of the
Mhm.
stuff that was sitting
Right.
there between the time they realized, hey, this isn't listed, this isn't listed. So yeah, it's great to just get it right the first time.
That's exactly right. And like I said, that's why people use, a trusted, experienced company like us. And there are others out there too. But yeah, I mean, if you're remodeling your house, you can act as your own contractor too. You're adding a room, you can act as your own contractor and try to pull permits and do this and that and hope you got it all right and hire the
Yeah.
frame guy and the sheetrock guy and the painter and the tiler and the plumber and the electrical person to put in the new. Yeah, you can do that. Have fun.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. This is what we do. And so
Yeah.
we understand the ins and outs, and we try to get way ahead of the curve on things like that as well.
And I also heard a story about somebody that had like 20 pairs of shoes, brand new in boxes, that they were trying to kind of sneak in as part of like the residential, but it didn't work because obviously they were going to resell them.
Mhm.
They had never been worn before. I guess I mean, how many pairs of shoes do you need, right? So I guess the
Right.
idea is like a business. That's how a country's run. They want you to spend money in that country. They want you to
Right.
buy the goods and services in that country.
Yeah, and some countries are a little bit more touchy about that, and the UK and Europe in general is not.
Yeah,
But I mean, some countries say you can bring one of anything, not two, because they just immediately assume you're bringing it for resale.
yeah,
But yeah, if you showed up in the UK because you're moving there with your household goods,
yeah,
and you had, you know, 12 or 20 60-inch TVs in the box, they're probably going to look at that, say, what's going on here?
yeah,
Um, years ago, I moved someone to a certain country, and they had like 40 desks, all the same.
yeah,
Well, they were moving an office over there. It wasn't a household good, situation. 40 office chairs, all the same.
yeah,
40 computer monitors or 80, all the same. And so the receiving country said this isn't a bona fide, legitimate moving your household over here. I mean, who are you? Is this Elon Musk? What's happening? You
yeah.
know. So,
But
yeah, but the UK's, as long as it's reasonable, it's reasonable.
yeah. So when do you fill out the tour? Is that in the beginning of the process when you just get after you get your eyes on everything and they agree to, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to ship by sea freight, and this is what we're moving. Does the tour come next?
Well, the tour has to be completed, and so that we can submit it when we get to by the time the boat gets to the port of entry in the UK.
Okay.
So sometimes clients will pack their own boxes. It's the minority of cases. Normally, we do full professional packing. So if we're doing full professional packing, it's not going to be until the day of pickup or the day before pickup. And so, um, Uh, we're not going to know what box number one is, box number two is, box number three is until that day,
Okay.
which is fine. But if the client has decided that they want to pack all or some of their own boxes, then they would need to have that list ready for us, and complete that part of the tour,
I see.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Rob, that's great information. Yeah, I know I remember we talked about Mexico once a long time ago, what you could move and what you couldn't move out of there, and how they really wanted to make sure you weren't bringing stuff into resell.
yeah. They're very touchy. That's the menaje de casa, management of the household, and they're a little bit more detail oriented. Make, model, serial number for anything electronic, even if it's a blender. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, Rob, thanks for the great information as always.
Welcome.
Um, so I guess let's just catch up then in the next video.
Sounds good.
All right. And for those of you watching, like and subscribe, something I hardly ever say, but I hope you got some good information out of this. You can visit our website, sdcinternationalshipping.com, or also there's a toll-free number, 877-339-0267. I think I got that right.
Good.
All right. See you later, Rob.
See you, Jim. So long.
All right.